Tier 1 esports organizations keep making the same mistakes over and over again. It's like they never learn anything from one split to the next. These organizations have fallen into the trap of believing that the problem is the people. As a result, when a project is failing, they assume it's because they didn't hire the right people. So every split, they fall back on the only thing they know, replacing people and hoping for the best. But in this video, you'll understand that the problem goes way deeper than the people involved. You'll even realize that the very same issue is preventing you from learning from your projects, which pushes you to also do the same mistakes over and over again. You go in another team, in another project, you do the same mistakes. You're stuck by the same thing. After fully understanding what is preventing you from moving forward and learning from your mistakes, I will walk you through a process that I've been using for years in order to make sure that I learn from every project, so that each one makes me better and better prepared for the next. But before going any further, I would like you to listen to a message a head of esports sent me a few months ago. Because he was stuck in all his projects, no matter what he tried, he kept having the same results, which is a dysfunctional team. Let's have a listen.
Every split, it's the same fucking circus. I put a team together, they look great on paper, the first few weeks go fine, and then everything just starts going to shit. And no matter what we try, the team just keeps sinking. The staff talks to the players, and I can tell they get it. They understand that they need to stop losing their shit over every little thing, but then they get back in the game, and it's the same thing all over again. The players keep telling me, it's too much, I just can't control it. So how the fuck are you supposed to fix a problem when the people causing it feel like they have no control over themselves?
Obviously, he's pissed. He's frustrated. And rightfully so, because every split, he's spitting money, more and more money, for the exact same results. And at some point, it's discouraging because you're like, is there any way I can win in this fucking industry? And in this video, you'll understand what is preventing him from getting the results he wants, but also preventing you from getting the status you want, the team you want. You need to understand something, that people who are stuck tend to repeat the patterns that keep them stuck. Few examples. A player. How does a player fail in esports? Does he stop trying? Does he stop, training? Nope. He goes harder in the game. For instance, the first 3 years, he will just focus on the game. What results does he get? Nothing. So what does he do? Does he adapt? Does he change something? No. He will play even more. 3 more years. Still nothing. What does he do? Does he adapt? Still no. He's going to play some more. The person that we just heard talking, what was his mistake? He thought that he could fix any issues while talking. Like, we have a problem, let's talk about it before it gets too big. Talking doesn't work. What does he do? He talks some more. And he believes that he's doing the right thing because everyone agrees. Everyone's like, okay, let's stop sabotaging the project. Let's stop giving up when it's hard. Let's stop getting tilted when it's difficult, etc., etc. What happens? The players go back to the game. They give up again. What does he do? Does he change? Does he adapt? No. He's going to talk some more. And at some point, he will believe that he talked enough about it. And now things need to change. And when you reach that state, the natural conclusion you make is, it's about the people. I fixed the problem. I had many talks with them. So the only conclusion that I can make is I'm not dealing with the right people. And you can find this pattern of always doing the same thing everywhere. The coach who wants to go pro but has no opportunity, what does he do to fix it? Does he go on social media and share his work? Nope. He's going to analyze some more. He's going to be even more invisible. The problem is he's working in the dark. Nobody knows he exists. How is he going to fix that? By working some more in the dark. The manager, same deal. He works in the dark all the time. He wants to be noticed. He wants to be recruited in a good team. Does he show himself? Does he market himself? Of course not. He's going to keep taking shady projects, worthless projects, and keep working in the dark. Will he succeed? Of course not. The guy in esports, he's in tier 1, but he sucks at the game. What does he do? Solo queue. Is he getting better? No. So what does he do? Even more solo queue. Does he get better on official matches, on stage? Nope. What does he do? Even more solo queue. You need to pay attention to this pattern that people tend to use when they feel stuck about something. They will just keep doing the same stuff over and over again. Just look around you. Find the people who are stuck somewhere in one part of their life. Ask them when you have the time, what did you do to fix it? How long have you been doing this? And you will be astonished how many years people can waste on the issue that I'm going to deal with in this video. So what is actually the problem? When you talk about the problem here in this instance, because I want to address this issue as you will find it everywhere. In tier 1 or in amateur levels, every time there's a problem, people are like, we need to talk about this. And this is the worst move you can do. Why is it the worst one you can do? Because when you're going to talk about the problem, you will talk about the surface. You will talk about the symptoms. For instance, when a team contacts me and tells me, my players, they tend to give up when it's too hard. They tend to get frustrated too often and for the little things. I talked to them. I told them, stop getting frustrated. And it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. Because you're still on the surface. You believe the problem is the surface. But the real problem is the root cause of the symptoms that you can see. If you don't handle the root causes, nothing happens. So when you talk about the problem, you deeply believe that you're doing what is necessary for you to solve the issue. You deeply believe that you're being productive. So every time you talk and the players keep doing the same mistakes, you feel like you're worthless. You feel like you're wasting your time. You feel like you're not respected. And when you do this quite enough, like many times, I don't know, you talked about the problem like 16 times, you will draw the only conclusion that you can, because the assumption you made from the start is, I am right when I need to talk about the problem. I am being productive when I talk about the problem. Therefore, the only problem, the only root cause of the issue is the players, is the people that I work with. And this in amateur level, you can hear it all the time. How many players tell me, man, I can't find a real project. Every time I join a team, there's only one guy who is always tilted, one guy who is toxic, one guy who is not working enough, one guy who is blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, guys, we need to work as a team. You need to work better. You need to work more. And I'm like, yeah, and every time you talk, does it work? No, it never works. So what's your conclusion? But the whole humanity is not the right people? Pretty much. So why do people conclude this? Once again, human beings are weird. When you really want something, you're not logical anymore. You're full emotional. And when you're full emotional, what happens when you don't get what you want? You double down on what you did. The player will play more solo queue. The coach will coach more. The manager will manage more. But nothing solves the issue. Why? Because you want to solve it at the surface level, the symptom, not in the root cause. What you will do in this video is just adapt. Finally accept that maybe talking about the problems is worthless, especially if you don't have all the parts to deal with the issue. Because when you only focus on the symptom, all the rest don't exist. This guy that hired me for his mission, he was convinced he was doing everything right. Rightfully so, because he wouldn't insist on talking with players if he didn't felt certain that it was the right thing to do. And this is why I want you to avoid the same mistakes he did, because he wasted years and so much money on something that is so stupid to fix. In high performance teams, we never talk about the problems. And some of you will be shocked, like, what do you mean? Like, I just pretend there's no problems and we just keep working? No. They're not dumb. I said high performance teams. I didn't say highly dysfunctional teams. In high performance teams, we talk about solutions. So when the problem comes up, when we talk about it, it's going to be productive because we're going to talk about solutions. But the only way for you to talk about solutions is to fully understand what you're dealing with. And the problem in esports is most people, they start spitting solutions without even understanding what they're dealing with. One fucking example. Players Many times I have a player who tells me, man, frustration, I can't get rid of it. It's like it's in my DNA. No matter what I try, it doesn't work. And the first question I ask them is, do you know how it works? Like frustration? No. How do you want to solve something? How do you want to fix something and you don't even know how it works? So I ask them. So you basically, your method of fixing it is basically trying random shit and hoping it works. Exactly. So the first step of the process I would like you to follow is called iceberg. And this process is called iceberg because it's a permanent reminder, but there's always more than meets the eye. First letter, I. Interrogate your certainty. The player that keeps playing, even if it doesn't bring him anything, do you believe that he is doubting? Do you believe that he thinks that, oh, maybe playing more is not a solution? No, there is no doubt in his mind. Why? Because, once again, human beings, when they really want something, they're doing something really hard, but it doesn't pay off. Instead of adapting, instead of doing something else, they will double down on it. So he doubled down on it, and he has the certainty of a fucking god. So the first step, and it's the hardest one, interrogate your certainty. You must stop confusing what you feel with reality. You believe you're right. You feel it in your bones. You're convinced. You have the conviction that you're right, but you're on the right path. But open your fucking eyes. You have no results. Nothing is working. And if you were right, the solutions you tried, they would have worked by now. And they haven't. So don't bother. 3 ways you can understand that the certainty you feel relies on bullshit. The first one we already saw. You start spewing solutions, you start trying shit without understanding what you're doing. I had a manager, he was like, man, my players, they tend to give up during scrims. I told them, don't give up, it's going to be detrimental for your future, but just don't listen. Okay? And does it work? No. Okay, then what did you do afterwards? I talked to them some more. Then I talked about it every day. Then I talked about it 3 times a day. Okay. Does it work? No. If it doesn't work, let it go. I know you feel certain. You feel certain because this is the trap when you talk about problems. Because you're only focusing on the surface level, you believe that the solution is straight. Oh, okay, you're sad. Stop being sad. You're getting tilted. Stop getting tilted. You suck at the game. Stop sucking at the game. It's so obvious, but it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, you need to let it go. Second way for you to detect if the feeling of certainty you have is based on bullshit. You're upset when things don't go your way. You're so convinced that your great solution should have worked. But when reality shows you that it doesn't work, you will not adapt. You will get upset and you will double down on your strategy. No, I told you, you just need to stop making this mistake. So just stop. You're just bad at the game. Stop being bad at the game. Doesn't work like that. Third way you can fully identify that your certainty is based on bullshit, you start blaming the person. Finally, when everything falls to shit, when you tried 60 times to talk about people, when you spend 12 years of your life playing the game like crazy, you will start blaming random shit, mostly people. The player who just played all his career and failed, what he would say about his failure? Man, I failed because this industry is not mature enough. I failed because I didn't find the right teammates. I failed because I didn't find the right coach. I failed because it's always somebody else's fault. The coach that is not spotted, man, there's no recognition in this industry. Like you work your ass off, you push players, some of them go to pro level and they forget about you. Yeah, because it's not their responsibility to carry your ass to the tier 1. So this last step is the one you hear the most about people in amateur level that are stuck. They're always complaining about people not working enough, always complaining about others not doing enough. But they never ask themselves, why don't I build the skills, the tools, so that anyone that works with me feel empowered? Why don't I work in a certain way that makes them want to work more? It's way easier to blame the people because you have this false sense of certainty that pushes you to believe that you're doing everything right. you need to kill that shit. And you need to kill that shit hard, and this is why I put it in the first place. Second letter, capture the behavior. Now that you're open to the possibility that maybe you were wrong, it's time for you to get some data, to collect some data instead of judging people. Why? Because when you're judging people, you do not understand anything. Oh, why do you think he's always making the same mistakes? Oh, it's because he doesn't want it enough. It's because he's not hungry enough. Oh, it's because he has no work ethic. When I judge someone, when I assess someone, I'm not I'm not trying to understand them. I'm not trying to understand how they got there. I just want to draw a conclusion on them. And this you need to kill. If you need to understand something, you need to understand how it works. For instance, when I tried to capture the behavior on a player that was giving up during scrims, instead of just focusing on the end, oh, he's giving up because he doesn't want it enough, I found the opposite. He had the tendency to give up because he wanted it too bad. He wanted his practice to be perfect. So when his teammate died 2 minutes after the start of the game, he was already upset, but he kept going. But then one of his teammates didn't do his job and he got killed. And he got mad. And then someone stopped talking, stopped giving valuable information, and he couldn't do his job properly. So, of course, at the end of a game, he would give up. But if you focus only on the end, you don't find that out. You just judge him. Oh no, he's not hungry. He was the hungriest player of the team. But he wanted it too bad. And when you want something too bad, when it's not perfect, it breaks you. So what did we change? Every piece. You need to stop believing that all your teammates, they'll be perfect all the time. I want you to see it as a training. What happens if this guy is sick? How can you adapt? And then he saw things differently. It was not a punishment anymore. It was actual training. It's great if my teammate's not talking. Maybe I can do it for him. So then he can just get back on me when he feels better. And this is the kind of shit you want to do in this state. Capture the behavior. Describe what you see. Describe the behavior. Do not judge it. Do not interpret it. Do not try to explain it. Forget all the, oh, he's doing this because he's too soft. Fuck you. Doesn't mean shit. You don't collect valuable information this way. There's one kind of questions that you will avoid like the plague. All the questions that starts with why. Why are they giving up? Because they're not hungry. Because they have no work ethic. Because blah, blah, blah. When you ask why, your brain is biased to draw a conclusion. Problem is your conclusion is based on bullshit, or it's based on the surface level, the issue on the surface level, which is garbage, the symptoms. What you want to do instead is to use questions that will push you naturally to describe things. What are the elements that led this player to give up? What is the series of events that led this player to be upset? And then you start describing things. Why is a poison for your brain? Why pushes you to find a scapegoat? Why is it not working? Oh, it's because this guy, when it's hard, he stops communicating and then it pisses everyone off. Why is great if you want to blame someone, but if you want to be better, blaming someone will not fix anything for you. One last example with why to show you that it's completely useless. When you ask someone, why do you keep tilting? I told you tilting is bad. Tilting is not worth it. Tilting does not bring anything to the table. And you keep doing it. You keep doing it because you don't want it enough. You keep doing it because you got no work ethic. You keep doing it because you got no self-control. Now that I judged the guy, now that I described him, painted him, framed him like a bitch, what are the solutions? What are available for him? Nothing. So do not use the questions that start with why, because it would push you to judge. Third letter, E, escape the blame trap. This one is a security, a safety net. Previously, I asked you to capture the behavior, to just describe things in the most objective way possible. You will find this step extremely hard because you bias your brain so hard into judging people. So this step, escape the blame trap, is another chance for you, another shot for you to reread what you found and to destroy every signs of judgment. And if you see yourself pointing the finger at someone, just rephrase it, change it, describe the thing, describe the behavior instead of pointing the finger, instead of blaming the person. B, backtrack the behavior. When you captured the behavior earlier, you had, okay, he's motivated, he wants to fight, he's giving up in screams. When you capture the behavior, you identify the greatest points, the milestones that led to this failure. So the big events. When you backtrack the behavior, you start from the end and you ask the question, what happened right before that? Then you go back, you find something. What happened right before that? And you go back and you understand something else. And you go back again until you reach the beginning. Backtracking is excellent to expose information because it will allow you to find the smallest one. I found, like in this mission that this person gave me, I found that one of the players, he tended to give up because, okay, he's giving up. He gave up because he felt the stream was lost. He thought the stream was lost because no one was talking. No one was talking because people started making mistakes and playing alone instead of playing as a team. People started playing as a team because when someone called something, someone communicated something, nobody listened. Nobody listened because when someone proposed something, nobody answered. Nobody answered because someone was pissed. You see, you can describe the whole chain. And this is very good for you because for each piece you can find, there is a solution that can be explored. So backtrack behavior will allow you to find the little things that connect the big milestones that you found earlier. E, explore the patterns. You will understand quite quickly that giving up or getting tilted happens not only in the game, but also in many situations in life. Your goal here is to list all the parts of your life where the issue you found in yourself is also trackable. For instance, people who are frustrated when they lose, they're also frustrated when someone is late. They're also frustrated when someone doesn't keep their word towards them. They're also frustrated when they lose on another kind of games. And here you would just list them all. Try to find the behavior, capture the behavior, try to backtrack. And you will find that there are patterns. You'll find there are few elements that are always present. And these ones are the one you're going to work first, because these ones are absolutely important. One thing to keep in mind, when you find these patterns, you do not believe, do not expect that you found the solution already. You just found assumptions. Yes, they're really solid, but they're still assumptions. Why do I want you to believe they're assumptions? Because if they're wrong, I want you to drop them right away. I don't want you to double down on it. I want you to say, okay, in this situation, it doesn't work this way. Therefore, this assumption is false. I'm going to exhaust the others. And this will allow you to develop your expertise. Or reimagine reality. Use the things you found. For instance, this guy is going to tilt. He's going to give up because when a teammate makes a mistake, he's going to go crazy because he understands that his teammate is not taking things seriously. Reimagine your reality is you take every bomb you found and you pretend like, let's say I'm in a world where all my life I will have only teammates if I die at the 2-minute mark. No matter what I do, let's just die. How will I adapt? How will I approach this world so I can still get what I want? It won't even be hard, because even if I have nothing I can do to prevent this, now I fully understand that if he dies at the 2-minute mark, I need to find a way to not make things worse. I need to stop caring about it. I need to stop paying so much attention about it. I need to stop wasting my time about it. I need to focus on the things I can control. I need to focus on the other things that will allow me to compensate this issue. Instantly, when you accept that the bomb you couldn't accept, but the expectation you have is now no longer under your control, you can just adapt to it. Let's say you have another one. You believe that you do not succeed in esports because people are not worth it. They're not mature enough. They don't have the great work ethic that you're looking for. Reimagine your reality. Imagine you're now in a world where everyone will not work. How would you adapt so that you could still get what you want, which is, I want to go in tier 1? Easy. I'll develop all the skills, all the mentality to boost my teammates, to give them the willpower to work, but also to make the work enjoyable. I'll make the work so delightful that people will just work and work and work, and they will enjoy the process. Therefore, I will do the opposite of what I'm doing right now, which is to yell at them, to be mad, to be upset. I will just destroy all these things. Working, training will be enjoyable, will be easy. When we lose, I will tell them how important it is to lose, because it is the greatest moment we can use for us to learn. I will destroy everything that may hurt them or discourage them. Reimagine the world is actually a step that will show you that the problems you have in your mind, they're not problems, they're just opportunities. They're just problems that you need to solve in order to go further. So you don't need to avoid the problem, you need to go towards the problem and to find a solution. G is guinea pig yourself. When you have all these assumptions, when you have all these things that you want to try, you want to try them on yourself first. Why? Because every time you're going to see a teammate and you're going to tell him, oh, dude, I have an idea to fix it. Let's try this. And it doesn't work. It will cost you his trust. It will cost you his patience. And because you need to develop your expertise, you need to exhaust so many assumptions before you find the perfect recipe for you to work. You better do it on yourself first, because every time you fail, you will not take it as something that hurts so bad. You understand it's just assumptions. You understand that you just need to try them and that most of them are garbage. So you try them on yourself first, guinea pig yourself. You find someone in your team who tends to be tilted. Ask yourself, in which parts of my life do I tilt as well? Oh man, when I lose my internet connection. Like everything's working fine and suddenly, boom, no internet. I go crazy and like I could murder someone. Okay, what is happening there? Well, I have the expectation that because my internet is always working, it will always work. Like it will never fail. And this is unrealistic. All right. So I found unrealistic expectations. Do I have any more? Yeah, I have the expectations that my parents will always support me, even though I've been doing esports for 8 years with nothing to show. I need to stop being mad when my parents tell me they worry about me. I need to put myself in their shoes. Guinea pig yourself. What happens when you start doing this? You feel better. You handle your problems better. You have experience. And when you have that, now you can go to your teammate and tell him, yeah, I would like to try something. Let's see if it works. I'm not telling you that it will work. Like, I have no idea, but I would like to try. Is it okay for you? And you are likely to succeed. And because you're likely to succeed, you build trust with your teammate. So always starts with you. Why do I want you to follow this process? Once again, it's for you to make sure that you learn something from all your projects. If you just believe that talking will solve everything, you will talk, and nothing will change. And when you deeply believe that what you're doing is right, the only conclusion you will draw is people are the problem. But the second you believe that people are the problem, because you blame something that is external to you, you give it full power over yourself. If I blame my past for not being able to make it in esports, the only solution I have is to go back in time, change the past, and come back. If I blame the people in esports for not allowing me to succeed, the only way for me to succeed is to find better people somehow. If I tell someone that I didn't succeed in esports because the industry is not mature enough, the only way for me to succeed is to wait 20 years for it to maybe mature enough so I can win. And I don't have time for that. If you fall into this trap of deeply believing that what you're doing right now is right, even though reality shows that it's not working at all, the only conclusion you will draw is people are the problem, and then you will be stuck in this loop where split after split, you learn nothing. And it's fine when you're in amateur level and you don't want to go pro. But if you want to go pro, you can't do that. And if you're in a tier 1 organization, you cannot keep doing the same shit over and over again, but doesn't work, and expect it to work with the right people. The right people do not exist. Thank you for your attention.